Playoff race here out of the West Coast. Actually, a 12:40 start out west, but 3:40 east. San Francisco and Arizona. Verlander versus Pfaadt on the mound. Total listed at 9 across the board, and roughly pick 'em. Minus 110 or so split, depending on where you're shopping at. Verlander has been much better as of late, but understand this, Joe. On the road this year for Verlander, 53 and 2/3 innings pitched. How about an ERA of 4.53, but an xFIP number of 5.06? So is it going to have some recency bias, or just taking into effect when he goes on the road, he's just not that good? Because why? Anytime you pitch out in San Francisco, it's a perfect pitcher's ballpark. Not in the case for Arizona. If we look at Brandon Pfaadt at home this year, his numbers aren't that bad. As I'm trying to just scribble down, 6.05 ERA. What do you mean, Donnie? That's terrible. No. But he's got a 4.14 xFIP number, which isn't as bad. 9 is the total in this game. I got to tell you, maybe a team total for the Arizona Diamondbacks to get Verlander when he's been pitching well, and maybe it's a time that Arizona can rise up and win another game here. Arizona in the playoffs. How do you even think about it? It could be a reality.
And what a story it would be, Donnie, for sure, if they're able to do it. But this is this Giants lineup has owned Brandon Pfaadt. So there, to me, I think runs are coming. The Diamondbacks swinging the bat great. I have no doubt that they'll be able to get to Verlander and score enough here. I don't think 9 is enough, Donnie. I think this is a dead over in this game here. You're right. Team total, great, but I like the over for the game as well.
Play it up, baby. Play it up. Get the overs here. That's what we cheer on. 6:40 p.m. tonight in Detroit. Detroit, we know, is headed to the playoffs. Cleveland, not headed anywhere. Gavin Williams versus Jack Flaherty. Look at this number, Joe. Minus 168 at the opening number at FanDuel. You see the placard that's going to come out at minus 156. It's dropped down to a minus 138. Everybody else around that minus 150 price point. So money coming in on the Guardians today with a total of 8. What's up with that big drop?
How do you not beat Cantillo yesterday, Detroit? My goodness. Yeah, some question marks still on Scooble. But this is a huge series for the Guardians. It's now or never. They're 5.5 games behind Detroit there for the Sound. And listen, 5.5 games with 2 weeks left of baseball. And we've seen it, Donnie. One little bit of a losing streak and the other team goes hot. Detroit needs this game. But you know what the market is telling you there, Donnie? Yeah, I don't know if Flaherty is the guy that's going to get it for you here. So feels like Detroit can win this game, but it feels more like a under for the Guardians team total in this one.
We'll tee this one up because I tend to get upset sometimes. I had a couple alt-team total parlays yesterday. Ended up going 2-1, Joe, plus money. You never can complain. But maybe the easiest game and the highest price game for me was the Boston Red Sox yesterday, Joe, to score over 2.5 runs against those Athletics. They scored 1 early, left 1 million players on base, and actually lost that game 2-1 outright here. So we'll set the table. Barnett's on the mound here for the Athletics today. Not a good pitcher going up against Lucas Giolito. A heavy favorite for the Boston Red Sox tonight at a 6:45 start. And you know how this goes once again, Joe, right? They, talking about the Red Sox, scored 1 run last night. You know what they'll do in the first inning. 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position, 4 runs, and away they go. Just to make me upset. We'll continue with the A's and the Sox next, right here on the early line. We're going to Boston. Athletics, Red Sox, Joe. I just gave you the preamble. I'm upset with the Red Sox. They couldn't plate runs for me. And you know what the best part about it was, too? It was set up for the over 2.5 easily because you're down 2-1 late in the game. You have 3 at-bats left. Score 1 run, you go to extras, you get it. They weren't able to do that, which really upset me. It looks like they should be in for a bounce back today, as high as a minus 180 price point in the marketplace, and a total listed at 9. Do the bats wake up today in Boston?
They better. Giolito has been really good for him here this year. But, again, quietly, the Athletics, Donnie, also playing pretty good baseball right now. And they're not bowing to anybody, but they've got the advantage on the mound. And it feels like maybe an under in this spot might be worth a look with a little cooler temperatures rolling in here to Fenway.
Rolling down to Tampa Bay. Ooh, look at this one. Kevin Gausman's on the mound going up against my brethren, Ian Seymour, the left-handed pitcher. By the way, my last name's Seymour, and I'm a lefty. Could this is supposed to be the life that I was supposed to be leading, pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays? The total's listed at 8, and a side of them favorite at minus 130 to minus 132, depending where you're shopping at right now, in the favor of Toronto. Toronto's on a win streak. Toronto's bats are hot here. What do we see down at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa for you today, Joe?
Yeah, Seymour's actually pretty good here, the young pitcher
Let's
for
go.
the Rays. And Gosman has been,
Love to see it.
really bounce back year here. And like the over last night with those two gas cans on the mound, and we got that, Donnie. I don't like the over in this one here tonight. I like the under. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game with the Rays and the Jays.
Yeah, talking about lower scoring, I think you might be having this as well up at Citi Field, a couple thousand miles away, 909, 910. That's San Diego, and it's the New York Mets. Pavetta versus Peterson. This line opened up, Joe, 7.5 as a total, still sits at 7.5 across the board. But a total aside here, that's roughly a pick 'em depending on where you're shopping at right now. Both of these teams desperately need this victory, and the Mets really came to play by using the long ball and smashing Michael King and the Padres yesterday. Do we see more runs today, or we get back to, all right, playoff baseball, two good pitchers, let's see a 3-2 final?
Well, certainly pitching wise,
Yeah.
advantage Padres, both the starter and the bullpen here. And I don't trust Peterson in this
No.
spot here. Pavetta has been the guy all year long for the Padres. He's going to have to come up big in this one. I think they do. I like the Padres to bounce back in a big way here.
How about that? The Padres bouncing back. And by the way, if we put a like, is there any chance that you think that the New York Mets don't make the playoffs? Or are they just assured making the playoffs for you? What do you say?
Oh, nothing is assured. None of these teams are playing their best baseball right now. It feels like all of them are limping to the finish line, Donnie, which makes it very hard to say, sure, Mets are guaranteed to make. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what happens here. A team that's looking to make the playoffs for sure. That's the Seattle Mariners. First place Mariners on a hot streak. They've won 10 games in a row. They're throwing out Miller today, who's not a good pitcher. You look at the side in this one. Wait a second. It's a minus 110. Cole Reagans, I don't know if I can trust that guy. Not necessarily. How about this? If I would have told you on the card today for home pitchers, he's number one, Joe. 29 innings pitched at home this year, an ERA of 4.97. Donnie, that's terrible. We don't look at ERA. How about an xFIP of 2.64? I like Kansas City to stop that win streak today. Get some base knocks, get a good pitching performance out of Reagans, and come away with the victory. What do you say on this one?
Well, the problem is, what are you going to get from Reagans? We haven't seen him in a million years,
Let's go, Cole.
it feels
Let's
like.
go.
So he's, it's always going to be questionable here when you got a guy that is
It's
trying
true.
to shake off some rust here after he hasn't pitched in, I don't know, it feels like 4 months. So.
Yep.
It's tough, but when on, you're right. Nobody better than him. This feels like an under game, though, as well. I would even look maybe an under in the first 5 here in this spot.
Yeah, Bats came out to play last night, which they should. Like every night, Seattle looks like it has an unbelievable lineup, 1 through 9. And it really came to play yesterday. The lefty Reagans will be on the mound. You know they're going to stack all those right-handed batters up against them today. And maybe Cal Raleigh. I'm interested in this, Joe. If there's only 2 weeks left in the season, 4 home runs isn't crazy, but it's still a pretty good amount to have. If I gave you the odds, and I don't know, I guess other books probably have them as well. Does he, talking about Cal Raleigh, get the 60 home runs this year?
It's going to be close. It's going to be really close, I think, Donnie. And as this race tightens up here with the Mariners, pressure is going to be on here. So I think it's going to close. 58-59, I think, is what he gets to. He's just short.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if he gets 60, he's probably got to be the MVP. And also, do what they do to every other hitter out there. Move him up into the leadoff spot to get him an extra at-bat a game here for an extra couple swings at that home run. Do it for Cal Raleigh, people. Let's do it. More Major League Baseball handicapping for Wednesday coming up next. Back to Major League Baseball. By the way, Joe, I got a trivia question for you to start the top of this segment before we get back to the handicaps. Can you name the 2 players in Major League Baseball history with 50 home runs in a season and 50 strikeouts in a season? Do you know who they are? Multiple strikeouts. I think I got that wrong.
I think that maybe there's one, I think. And didn't we just – I think we just saw him, didn't we not, last night in Ohtani with 50 bombs and 50 Ks in the season? You'd have to go way back to what, the Babe days if there was anybody else?
That was him. By the way, I've read the wording differently. It would have been more impressive if it was 50 and 50, but it just lists as 50 home runs and multiple strikeouts in a season. So what does that mean? Like Babe Ruth hit 50 and like pitched like an inning or two and got like 1 or 2 got like 2 or 3 strikeouts.
Right.
I need some depth on that because it doesn't sound as impressive now that I read it. Like, hey, 50 home runs and multiple strikeouts. Like, no, like you can't just have 2 strikeouts and be like you had multiple.
Yeah. It's 50-50,
So it
I
was
think.
both.
Yeah.
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 So I'm looking at this other sports book. I have players with 50 home runs and multiple strikeouts pitching in the same season. What a dumb way to title that at this point. A 50-50 sounds absolutely much better. I tell you, not getting any 50-50s tonight in this game. Talking about the New York Yankees and the Minnesota Twins. Heel versus Bradley. 925, 926 on the rotation, a 740 start. Favorite here for the Yankees. Heavy overnight, minus 180s. They're backtracking a little bit. 168s, 175s in the sports landscape here, and a total of 9. I actually think we get runs tonight. We got them last night in a big way. 10-1 Yankees turned into 10-9 Yankees. That's 19 runs. Joe, why can't we get half of those tonight and try to cash in on a total here?
I think you're going to, but the question is, who in that bullpen is going to stop the meltdown? Oh, yeah, that's right. Back to that rule. We only bet the Yankees in the first 5. Love Louis Heel in this spot here. I will lay the half a run with the Yankees in the first 5, because once you get to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning with that bullpen, good luck. Twins will probably score a whole lot of runs, and maybe even an over is in store here tonight.
By the way, looking at Luis Seal on the season, I'd say on the season, dating back to May, where the temperature starts to change in Major League Baseball, he's the worst pitcher on my card today analytically. You say, well, hold on now. 41 and a third innings pitched since May. A 2.83 ERA sounds great, but how about his xFIP number? 5.59, an absolute disaster. You look at Taj Bradley, 97 and a third innings pitched since May, a 5 ERA and a 4.28 xFIP number. I'm expecting some runs to be in the ball yard tonight up there in Minnesota to see how that one plays out. Playoff baseball. We continue to talk about, even though the playoffs don't start until October. Texas and Houston. DeGrom versus Javier. DeGrom is a slight favorite today at a minus 135 price, and a total that's listed between 7.5 and 8, depending on where you're shopping at. Does DeGrom have enough in the tank? Because Javier, coming off the IL, hasn't been that great of a pitcher here, but you can't afford any more losses if you're the Rangers, specifically to a team you're trying to chase down. Do or die situation tonight in Houston for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, listen, Rangers need DeGrom to show up, and he has. Donnie, let's be realistic. He is, what a bounce back year for him. And they are going to need him to shut down this lineup that, they scored a lot of runs against Merrill Kelly early and then didn't score again late. Don't forget, the Astros lineup, I believe, Donnie, currently after the All-Star break, one of the worst in scoring runs per game, just about 4 runs a game here. Christian Javier still trying to work off the rust, Donnie. I mean, he's gotten beat up here. He's given up at least 4 runs in 3 of his past 4 starts. So, yeah, I like the Rangers at this price with DeGrom on the mound to get it done.
Look at that. Step up to the plate, Texas. Make a race out of this thing. Help out the Seattle Mariners. Knock off those in-state rivals, Houston Astros. Let's go out to the West Coast here, where the Philadelphia Phillies are owning the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it looks like right now it is a 2-team race in the NL. It's the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers for that top spot. The more the Phillies keep pounding the Dodgers, the farther back they get. I think the Dodgers are 7 games back, I want to say, of the Philadelphia Phillies for that number 2 seed, if we're talking about winning the division race and how those teams will be seeded once they hit the playoffs. Tonight, 9-13, 9-14 on the rotation, a 10-10 start. The Phillies are going to throw out Luzardo and going up against my guy Blake Snell. 2 lefties on the mound, a favorite for the Dodgers, just like we saw last night. A total of 8, primarily what we saw last night. More runs coming. Luzardo's been very good. Snell's been good. How do we play this game tonight at Chavez Ravine at 10-10 Eastern?
Yeah, it's, Snell is had a rough go of it. He started off great once they got him back, and now the walks have started to creep up a little bit here. The strikeouts have taken a step back a little bit. And again, he's still, it's been a while since he pitched. You can't miss, 3/4 of the season and come in and expect it's just going to be great. I do think runs could be coming in this one. So I'd be looking at the over tonight. The bats for Philly, the bats for the Dodgers have been red hot. There's no reason to think we can't get over 8 runs in this game.
Gotcha. I'm with you here. We'll see what happens out on the West Coast, see what the Philadelphia Phillies do to try to hang around the Brewers. And also, more importantly, the Dodgers probably looking earlier in the day, hey, New York Mets, can you help us out again with a victory? And then we compile 1-1, and it's 2 more games in our favor. And away you go as the division champions for the Dodgers here. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about the AL MVP race here, Joe. And it is obviously between Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh. Now, the odds makers will lend you to believe that's probably still going to be Aaron Judge. But I'm trying to be honest, Joe, I'm trying to figure out why. If we're looking at one of the toughest positions in Major League Baseball, and you could probably say the toughest, is playing catcher on a day-to-day basis. Cal Raleigh does do that. Now, is Cal Raleigh's
Yep.
batting average as high as Aaron Judge? He's hitting 326? No. But he has more home runs and more RBI and plays the catcher every single day and hasn't missed multiple weeks like Aaron Judge has. So understand this. Do we see the odds makers? Because if I'm looking right now, and I'm just going to pick out FanDuel, minus 900. Why is Aaron Judge honestly a minus 900 favorite to win the MVP right now over Cal Raleigh?
Yeah, because one plays in the New York media market, the other plays in Seattle, and that's the problem here. And listen, as good as Seattle has been here, Donnie, right? They've not been the biggest topic of conversation over the last month here in Major League Baseball. It's always about what the Yankees are doing, what the Dodgers are doing, and can the Red Sox catch them, and yada yada yada. In the meantime, he's passed guys like Johnny Bench for most home runs in a season by a catcher. Salvatore Perez. He also just, I believe, is now tied with Griffey for the most home runs in a season as a Mariner. And you're not hearing any of that in the media. And that's why Judge is basically minus 900 at this point.
It's pretty incredible, like the rise for Cal Raleigh, right? 28 years old. Like you look at him, looks like he's 35. He's like, oh, he's been around the major leagues for a long time. That's not really been the case. He's just really excelling. And again, 56 home runs for Raleigh compared to 48 for Aaron Judge. RBI markets here, 118 for Cal Raleigh. You look at Aaron Judge, 103. And I'm not saying that's the end all be all. And yes, Aaron Judge is hitting 326 and Cal Raleigh is below that. But I always like to take a look at, Joe, like the extracurriculars, right? Like the Yankees aren't going to win the division. Like Cal Raleigh's hitting home runs down the stretch in a tight race for the Astros, where he's that linchpin that can hit 4 more home runs, give them the division championship, and he hit 60 home runs. There's no way he shouldn't be the MVP. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's so funny, Donnie, because when you think about it, here's a few guys that have never hit 50 home runs in a season. Guys like Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, Reggie Jackson, Hank Aaron, Mike Schmidt. Lou Gehrig, you're getting like what this dude has done here as a switch hitter, as a catcher in this season is one of the all-time greatest seasons that we have seen here. Now, does that mean he's going to do it again next year and the year after that? No, but just take it for what it is. One of the all-time greatest seasons we've seen by a switch hitter.
It's really impressive when you watch it play out because this isn't a part-time DH. It's like, hey, you know what? I just hang out in the back. I hit home runs, no wear and tear. This is a guy playing catcher. And if anybody says, well, he plays catcher as a part of baseball, do me a favor. If you're just watching, you don't have to be a professional athlete. Go stand in a catcher's position for 30 seconds and go, oh, my goodness. Yeah, and do that for 160 or so games and do it for 3 to 4 hours every single night, which includes catching bullpen sessions and then the Major League Baseball game itself, and then go up to the plate and hit 60 home runs against Major League Baseball pitching. Yeah, that's right. You can't do it. Cal Raleigh for me right now. He's my MVP. I'm telling you, if he hits 60 and he doesn't get that MVP award, do away with the MVP award. We don't want it anymore. All right, we went to the National League. We asked a simple question at SportsGrid, which is our account on X, and that question was, which team do you think misses the playoffs this season? 4 options. The Mets, plus 350. The Astros, plus 610. The Rangers, minus 590. And the Diamondbacks, minus 1200. So actually, it is the National League and the American League with a nice little mix right here. For me, I voted Rangers at 32%, but they're minus 590. I mean, come on now. I mean, how much of a step out are we doing at this point? I don't think the Rangers get in, but they do have a last stand effort tonight with Jacob deGrom on the mound. If you had a vote, and you did, Joe, where did you go?
Oh, the Mets, without a doubt. Give me the Mets. I think it makes for such a better story, Donnie, does it not? What would that be like? What would the headlines be like if that actually comes to fruition? Listen, one of these teams is going to get hot here, right? One of those teams is going to get hot and make a run. Is it Houston right now? Is it Arizona, who's been playing incredibly good baseball? Which one is it, Donnie? Because one of those teams or a few of those teams are going to be on the outside looking in.
Absolutely. And now we rise like a phoenix from the ashes. The place didn't work out too well last night. You can't always win every single night. Let's get after some bye tonight. Step back into the arena, Joe Ranieri, tonight. We need you. All hands on deck. Where are we going tonight for a W?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Worst start of in a long time there for Mr. Skeens yesterday. But
Mm.
I think we're going to get a big bounce back spot here tonight. And I like it for the Dodgers, who all the quotes coming out, Donnie, they are not happy having lost that game yesterday in the fashion they did, with Ohtani having a no hitter of all things through 5 innings there. And then, of course, hitting the home run. And all of that was for naught as the bullpen came in and melted. Snell on the mound here tonight, going up against Luzardo. We know Luzardo, which one shows up. I trust him a little bit more at home than I do on the road. I think you see a big effort out of the Dodgers. And with Snell on the mound at that price, Donnie, yeah, it's absolutely worth a bet to get behind the Dodgers to win one here tonight.
See if Ohtani can go yard again. Luzardo's been a good pitcher there. Snell as well. Probably a lower scoring game. We'll see if the Dodgers pull it out. They have to. You can't just keep losing games because eventually San Diego is going to win. And also, you probably like it even more, Joe, right? You watch earlier in the day. If the Padres can knock off the Mets, that's extra pressure on the Dodgers. As opposed to, okay, good. Padres lost again. It's no big deal at this point. Let's go out there and play some baseball. We'll see if that pressure turns up. For me, I'm going with an over. Last night we had 19 runs with the Minnesota Twins. Now, again, ebbs and flows of baseball. Yeah, 1-0 sets up, right? Because the night before, the Yankees scored 0 runs on 2 base hits. Last night they exploded for 10 runs. Heel versus Bradley. 2 pitchers that can be hit, 77 degrees at first pitch. I expect more runs tonight. I'm going over the 9 runs in the Twin Cities tonight between the Yankees and the Twins here, Joe. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, listen, that bullpen of Minnesota is awful as well. So, yeah, we should absolutely, once we get past the starters, we should get a whole lot of runs in the latter half of these innings as well. So I'm with you. It is only an over for me in that spot.